Hello everybody, and welcome to another video tutorial by Vivio Technologies. Today we're going to be walking through all the different SSL modes that Cloudflare has available, how to change your SSL mode, and what each of those SSL modes do. So I wanted to start off by mentioning that Cloudflare defaults to the flexible mode, and the flexible mode is not ideal for websites that have a HTTP to HTTPS redirect. So basically, if you're redirecting customers from the non-secure version of your website to the secure version of your website, you're probably going to get a redirect loop. The reason for this is even though the browser connection is secure to Cloudflare with HTTPS, as you can see by this lock icon, the connection from Cloudflare to the server is not secure. So Cloudflare is actually making a request via HTTP to the server, and the server's saying, hey, can you please try this site over HTTPS? So it's redirecting you to the HTTPS version, and then Cloudflare still tries over HTTP, and it causes the infinite redirect loop. An example of this is this new site that I just created and pointed to to Cloudflare, and I have not changed any of the SSL settings, so it's set to flexible. If I come in here and refresh this page, you can see in the network request that it is just continuously trying to redirect to the HTTPS version of the website. And that is because it is trying from Cloudflare to this origin server to connect with HTTP. So to fix this, you need to change your SSL mode. And to change the SSL mode, you just click on the configure button here. But first, you want to come into the SSL TLS section here and click on overview. This is how you get to the different SSL modes that you can configure for your site. So click on configure once you're in there, and then change your SSL mode to one of the full options, which will secure your website. As you can see, whenever I click on the full mode, it has the lock icon for both the browser to Cloudflare connection and from the Cloudflare to the origin server. Each of these top three modes here for full strict, and strict SSL only origin pool all will show the exact same thing, because they are securing the connection with HTTPS on both sides of the connection. The difference between each of these is the validation of the certificate. So if you have say you have a self-signed certificate that's not trusted, it's just created by the server, you would set the SSL mode to full. If you have a certificate, a paid certificate through Vivio, for example, or another SSL vendor, or maybe a Let's Encrypt certificate, you could enable the full strict mode as long as those certificates are trusted by the browser, and it depends on the certificate authority that issued the certificate for you. The strict SSL only origin pool is the same thing as the full strict. It just has a little bit more stricter guidelines on the encryption and make sure that it's the most trusted. So it's the most secure version most secure mode that you can enable. But I usually recommend that clients select the full strict mode. It is secure and encrypts the traffic from end to end, which is recommended. And if I save this setting, you will see, so it's saved. If I refresh this page, my redirect loop should no longer occur. And let me just refresh. There we go. So you can see that I'm now able to access the website securely with HTTPS, and it is not redirecting me over and over and over again. So you can change those settings. If you don't have a certificate on the server at all, then you can choose the flexible mode, and just make sure that on your website you don't redirect people to the HTTPS version of the website. So Cloudflare will still secure the traffic to Cloudflare if you do that with flexible mode, but the connection from Cloudflare to the server will still be HTTP. If you don't want any HTTPS version at all, you can set the off mode, which is not secure, so you can see it doesn't have any encryption from on either end of the connection. So as mentioned, just recommend the full strict mode. As far as the certificates that you have installed on the server, you can order a paid certificate through Vivio or any other SSL vendor. you could use Let's Encrypt. If you do use Let's Encrypt and your website's behind Cloudflare, you'll need to use the DNS validation option as the standard HTTP validation that Let's Encrypt uses will not work through Cloudflare. So just use the DNS validation if that's available for the SSL client that you are using on your server. You could also, in addition to the paid certificate and Let's Encrypt, you could also use Cloudflare's Origin certificate. So you can come into the Origin server section there and then create a certificate here. So once you create the certificate using this create certificate button, it'll provide you a certificate that you can then download and then install on your server and configure for the HTTPS bindings for your website. The server certificate that you install, so the Origin certificate that you get from Cloudflare, is valid for a very long time, but we recommend that you come in here every year if you do this option and create a new certificate and get it installed on the server. The reason for that is encryption standards change, and just to make sure that you don't run into any unexpected errors down the road with your certificate no longer being trusted, just make sure you renew that frequently. If you have a paid certificate through Vivio, then that's going to automatically be renewed each year and you won't have to worry about that, and our team usually installs that for you if you choose that option. But if you have any questions or need further assistance, you can contact our Vivio support team and we'd be happy to help. And I hope this video has been helpful, and thank you.